Hello, everybody. My name is Brandon Navarrete, and today my topic will be about why you shouldn't believe everything that you see on social media or on the internet in general. Because, as we all know, most of us tend to get our news from social media and the news outlet, but what we don't realize is that sometimes they're not always feeding us the right information, and we fall right into their trap and believe everything that they could be saying. But what we don't know is that they also like to switch up the stories into a different narrative or a different perspective where we actually believe it, and then we're out here saying different things but not saying the actual reality of what's going on. Most of the time, when me personally, I'm scrolling through Instagram or Twitter and you see what's trending, like it catches your attention, and I just like to scroll through it and read what's going on. But I realized oh, what if they're trying to switch up the narrative and brainwash you in some type of way? And there are some cases where that does happen. So it got to a point for me that every time I'm looking at a news outlet, it has to be from a trustful source. Because if it ain't, it could always be some made up stuff or some information that isn't 100%. As I'm looking through my sources, I found some information that could benefit what I'm trying to say. And one of the things that I saw that caught my attention was that there is no quality assurance when it comes to information found on the internet. Anyone can post anything, which is true. For example, let's say I were to go on my Instagram and post something on my story right now that's completely false, but I know will catch someone's attention. That could be like a case of what I'm trying to prove. Like everything that you see on the internet isn't always true. And I could have easily fooled all these people and bait them into believing me. But at the end of the day, it's not true, it's just something I made up. In today's world where everything is very technological and our technology is very advanced, not as before how it used to be, it's very easy to fool people and, bait them into believing stuff. And I'm not just talking about everything we see on the news or we see on social media, but I could also be talking about the way you see someone, because in today's world there can be cases of Photoshop, and with all this technology and apps that we're able to access, we can make our appearance change in a way and make people believe oh, he looks different than what he actually does in real life, if you guys understand what I'm trying to say. The thing that we should always keep in mind is that the internet is a free space for people to be able to express their expressions or their opinions. And that's when it comes to some type of diversity, because I can explain my opinion on a certain topic and someone else will have a different perspective on it, and then it becomes this whole drama contrast where people are going back and forth not agreeing with someone else's opinion, and then it becomes into this whole situation where people don't believe it, or they believe someone and they don't believe the other person. So it's this thing where it's kind of hard to believe what is actually true and what is not, because you'll always have your own opinion on certain things, or you'll hear something else of that topic. I've noticed that in some news outlet sources where I'm looking at stuff that happened about a certain individual, the news likes to put out all the bad things of them. And sometimes they forget to leave out the good things because they just like to focus on one thing, and which are the bad things, because they tend to get more attention or views when it comes to the bad stuff, because they know that all the negative stuff catches people's attention more than what it would when someone does something good. Something else that I was able to get from one of my sources was that it is sometimes used to trend different narratives or agenda, and what they mean by that is that owning to its usage and demand in this present age, a good number of people have seen social media as a suitable place to trend narratives and agenda. They push narratives they want people to believe. since any news could go viral within minutes. Social media has been the perfect platform for fake news. Things like this are done daily because they are aware that most social media users will believe anything seen online, which is true because we're in an era where most of us are brainwashed by what we see online, and it's the sad truth. But yeah, because our only news outlet really comes from social media, because we don't really watch TV or sit down and watch the news no more. We get all our information just off our phones. And for the last thing that I want to speak about on my topic is from my last news source that I got online. And it is that false news travels faster online, which is true because let's say someone were to tell you something that isn't true, and it's something like, oh wow, caught your attention, like you want to go ahead and tell someone else. It's gonna it's gonna be longer for you to go ahead and tell them in person than social media, because all you have to do is one simple post and there everyone knows. But the narrative of it can be very different from the actual truth of it because of the way you told them or the way it was explained to you. So that will be it for my speech today. Hopefully you guys were able to enjoy it, and I was able to give you guys some type of knowledge of my topic. And although my topic was about not believing everything you see on the internet because people may have different opinions, it could be the same thing in this case where what I'm speaking about you may not believe, or you'll have a different narrative on it. But at the end of the day, I was just trying to give you guys my perspective and give you guys knowledge from what I learned based off my sources. So thank you.